Welcome, ghouls, demons, and fellow weird ones. And here we are for another Tale Behind the Art episode where I yap about the life experience and creative process behind all of my different fashion, modeling, and photography, and kind of everything else. I'm sure other things are going to get lumped into this series, mainly because I don't have a creative phrase. Like I have the tale behind the tale, but I don't have something very specific for this other realm and niche of art. So it's all art. My life is art. That's why I call it living art. This is me just living and being artistic in everything that I do, all the way down to my clothes and how I choose to express myself. So with that, welcome. And let's talk about I don't know which one. So this outfit, by the way, I really like this. This was like a last minute decision on like what to create because I really like the skirt. But I've really struggled with pairing it with the top. And I do feel like short skirt, crop top, like that doesn't always go. I kind of feel like maybe I should have put my Mary Janes on. That might have been real cute, but I like the boots. I like that these are shorts underneath. But I like the mixture of pattern. I like the daisies with stripes. It's very Persephone meets Underworld. It's giving Nightmare Before Christmas and Lana Del Rey with Britney Spears. Lana's a huge influence. It's a Leo moon thing on top of the Cancerian energy that we share. I need to slow down how I talk and really enunciate. That's something I've been trying to work on and noticing a lot. But fuck it, we ball. And so with that, this is my cute little, I don't know, spring Tim Burton-esque vibe. I don't know, I really like it. I can't wait to wear it out and about in the summer. And then we'll adjust shoes. Because in the summer, I may not even wear tights. I might just go for a nice, I have platinum sandals that might be real fun, but it might also be too much. I don't know, we'll find out. It's Ginge. You joining us? That's my coffee. Please watch out. Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk about what nightmares are made of. Oh, fun. So Nightmare Before Christmas, what nightmares are made of. So this one, excuse me, this is in my apartment, in my bedroom. This kind of goes into some of the cosplay stuff that I was doing when I talked about like my Deadpool shoot. I could have included this in that because this is definitely a cosplay. And then it leans into some of the hypersexualization of cosplay that I criticize, but also am very complicit in. But this was just fun for me. I mean, so it's Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's what nightmares are made of. That's what I named it. And here's the thing, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy is a sexual pervert. So there was a perverted essence into it. If I'm like this female perverted Freddy Krueger, on top of adding some like romance and like fantasy, like role play kind of into it. And again, this was at the time in which I'd been doing boudoir modeling and like lingerie modeling. I was trying to turn it into a creative endeavor, not just being, I didn't want it to be about my outfit or me and the outfit. I wanted things to be a lot more than they were or than they are. I've always kind of gotten lost in that a little bit. So definitely dreamy nature, which I think really ties into me. Nightmare on Elm Street is probably my favorite slasher. Paul, my Taurus, my hairdresser, Paul, I love my life. He is a Jason Friday the 13th girly pop, and I am a Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger girly pop. So we have like the best relationship ever. It's super fun. I sorry, Blaine. So that's been like a super fun dynamic. So there was some influence in some of our discussions from here, and the gay culture of everything. And I was doing OnlyFans, so there's all of this pressure. It's like people wanted more nudity. Actually, what they wanted was more pornography, not just nudity, not nude art, but like porn. And I'm trying to express myself as a sexually liberated, uh, nude artist. Like, I just had a completely different perspective. So I had my perspective, and then I have the perspective of the masses that I'm trying to please and make money out of. Because, like, again, I did it to be my career for the sake of money, fame, for any of those things. Like, I love doing this, and I wanted it to continue to be a creative project that made me money. And so if OnlyFans was like the way to make money, well, there's give and take and fucking unfortunately in everything. And so this was kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, well, maybe I will like turn up the heat a little bit in some of my posts or my projects and how I visit them. Simultaneously, I was really embodying being a nightmare. I was embodying this dreamlike state that I tend to be in. So I like the dream symbolism. There's a shirt that I use. It says "Dreaming of You," and that really leans into how lost in limerence I could be, and also how getting lost in limerence, like I have, can be a nightmare. I emphasized every waking moment of my life when the reality was a nightmare. Between the men that I dated, the friends that I had, my family, my life situation, very much a making the most out of being Cinderella in a sense, because you couldn't really change my spirit. Like, it didn't matter where I was. I was always going to be this giddy, bubbly, rainbows and butterflies girl. Like, I don't know how to explain it. So I'm kind of lost in this world of who I'm supposed to be, especially because of a lot of things I've been through sexually. It just felt like, well, this is not that this is all I'm worth, but this is all that people are going to see me as, and you give the people what they want. And it was kind of like, well, joke's on you. Like, I don't care. I'm expressing myself. I have a completely different intention, and I kind of don't care how you're interpreting it. But you're gonna give me money. You're gonna give me opportunity, and it's going to be what it's going to be, and nothing's gonna stop me. But I'll meet you where you're at. I kind of thought given up on meeting people where they're at, to an extent. Sometimes you always have to meet people where they're at, regardless, um, of anything. But I feel like I've shifted through these experiences. I've really shifted what that means to me to meet someone where they're at. But this time, I definitely thought I was meeting my audience with where they're at. And I still really like the photos. I think they're super fun. Because I had a movie authentic Freddy Krueger hand. And so being nude and having like the claws like cover up and then the hat, like there is a vibe to it. And then like having the Dreaming of You shirts and then the claws like down below like that. It's really fun. I don't hate anything. It's just the story of how they were received versus what I wanted versus where I was at and all these complexities of life when at the end of the day, I just wanted to take some fun Freddy Krueger photos. And I've done a lot of I like sexy Halloween costumes. I know that that can be like a controversial thing. I think it's fun that we slut it up for Halloween and just let our freak, our freak flag fly. I know a lot of people think it's weird for a variety of reasons. I hate when it's sexy without effort or just like sex for the sake of sex. Like there's no effort. Like just like Mean Girls. Oh, you wear lingerie and then like animal ears. I hate that unless you're Elle Woods in your little bunny outfit. Because you did it right. Like she added the tights. Like she made a Playboy bunny look out of her bunny look. So there was more to it than just putting on a corset and some heels and ears. Like I don't know, there's different vibes, and maybe I don't make sense. Maybe people won't fully understand what I'm talking about within like, I feel like you can tell a difference in intention and how people present themselves. Like it's an energetic thing. Like I don't know. Could be overthinking. Yeah, it could be just, being a biased bitch and picking and choosing what I like and who knows. But when it came to this, I don't know. I wanted there to be something more to it. Or almost, I don't know. So another way you could interpret it is like be, you could be like trolling Freddie back because I am obviously like a fully developed woman and Freddie's a pervert, right? And so it's like, oh, well, now I'm your nightmare. Look at me, which in certain ways, this is like being this kind of woman is every conservative man's nightmare. So I do appreciate that. There's a lot of different interpretations that can be put into it, but I also is one of the most confident, like I was really starting to feel confident in my body at this heavier weight. Well, not that it was really like heavy, but it was a shift from how lean I had always been. And so there was a lot of fun in that. That was kind of a evolutionary step from where I had been in other states of my body. So that's really fun. Like every time I look at these, I'm just like, fucking love myself. I think it's super sassy, sexy, fun. I think it really highlights a lot of different themes and moods, especially when you attach in the essence of what Nightmare on Elm Street is, was, has been, and everything in between. On top of, again, just the fun of being free, which is what I kind of think like Halloween and Samhain like represents. It's like, oh, the demons come out. It's like, yeah, this is how you want to express yourself. Like that's the thing. Is I think more people want to express themselves in a more, I guess, provocative way. I always feel like Halloween is a lot of peacocking. And I think we want to peacock more than society allows us to because of this like purity culture. Peacocking is behind closed doors, right? You don't wear lingerie unless you're in the bedroom with your husband or your wife, like it's very Christianized. And so Halloween, it's like a hall pass. Like, again, let your freak flag fly. So people run with it. And I think now in this culture, we're kind of trying to expand that a little bit more. Like this outfit, just even a few years, there are people in 2026 who would call this slutty. I don't think this is slutty at all. I remember even being like a little kid. I say a little kid, like a tween. This is something I would have wanted to have worn at like 14 and up. Like just a cute little crop and a skirt. Like to me, this is just really feminine. I know the sexualization of it. I don't interpret it to be sexualized, but I understand that people will. But if I didn't have that knowledge, I wouldn't inherently think that this is not inherently slutty or sexual to me. To me, this is just a really cute skirt that twirls, and this is a really cute top that like kind of hangs off the shoulder in a cute way, and it accents so many different things. I know my belly button ring isn't showing, but I like when my belly button ring shows. Like, why else would I have it? I like crops, and I think everyone looks good in a crop top. Men look great in crop tops. I don't know why they think it's gay. It's beautiful. Show it off. Let me see that. Let me see that happy trail, bitch. There's so many different things that like people interpret in like just such a weird way. Like I talked about in my other video, just like it's just feminine, it's just girly, and or people say it's slutty or gay, and so that's why you see the sluts and the gays taking over everything in the way that you see it. And it's just ridiculous because like people need to kind of wake up. Like back in Rome was very gay and very slutty, but people, it wasn't this like I don't know. I didn't live in Rome. Okay. Didn't live in Rome, or at least not that I can consciously remember. Maybe a past life version of me lived in Rome. I don't fucking know. But I could imagine it being very similar to now, but just back then. But like people have just had a different attire for things. And I feel like there was a different appreciation, or even just like ancient Greece. There was such a different perception of the human body and nudity that I feel like has been corrupted in this Christianized purity culture. And so while some might say this is a slutty outfit, I think this is just a really cute girly outfit. And I wouldn't think a 14-plus-year-old wearing it would be inappropriate outside of the fact that I would just want to protect the 14-year-old. I would tell 14-year-old girl not to dress like this because I would want to protect her from the predators that are men and society, not because I think she's doing anything wrong. And I've really had to deconstruct that. I have not been doing anything wrong with how I choose to dress and express myself, even in nudity. It is the predatory mindset of men and society. That is the problem. And that is why I feel like out of protection, we tell our daughters and nieces and friends and this and that, like, don't dress like that or wait till you're older or whatever. And I know. But then at the same time, like, it was more okay when I was 5. I had like a few crop tops when I was 5 that like tied up, and that wasn't weird because I was just a little 5-year-old. But then when I was 20 something years old and wanting to wear it, then it became this huge fucking problem. And that doesn't make sense to me because nothing about me or my intention has changed. I am not wearing this for a man I'm not wearing this to seduce a man. I'm doing this because it's fun. And a lot of things, even in my art, even in this nude nightmare, what do they fucking call this? What nightmares are made of, which is, I also think I could argue that it highlights a lot of that like shadow nightmare reality that women live in and men have trapped us in, and even men are victims of it too, because, men wear gray, men wear gray sweatpants. It's not the same, but men wear gray sweatpants and they get a small taste of what it feels like to be sexualized. I know men have been sexualized at various stages and of subtle ways, not to the extent of women, but you can see, like, I've seen men get uncomfortable with how women gawk at them. And it's like, wow, imagine what we go through all the time. But I would really love to see things being, perceived, not in a, like, I don't want to say innocent light, but just in a less rape mindset. Like, you see a naked body, you see the art form. Yes, it's sexy, it's sensual, but there's still this understanding that it's not, what would be the word? It's not tainted. It's not, in or used. Like, what? Oh, what? There's so many other words I can't fucking think of at this moment in time. And I don't know. I could go on and on and on about how I feel about the nudity and the pose and all of the above. I want to live in a world where people are desensitized to like to humanity in the sense of like our nakedness. And that's a big part of what I talk about. Being in the healthcare field, I've said this 1,000 times. Being in the healthcare world, I really understood that time and place for sexual things. And so to see this, it might pique your arousal. It might be attractive to you. This is definitely like, I'm just cute. Honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter if I'm stripped down or what I'm wearing. You're just attracted to me. Attraction is a completely different realm of things. And yes, there are layers to it, but people know a time and a place. And again, to break free of this like rapist mindset, you should be able to see a woman posing and creating art in this way, movies, content, whatever it is, and sex objects. Because last time I checked, I am a human being, not a dildo or a pocket pussy or any of those things. So when it comes to the desensitization of human nudity, it's not the desensitization of humanity, of our soul and of our essence. It's breakdown. I don't know if I'm wording that properly, but there's such a desensitization over people's humanity, especially women, that as soon as they do anything, it's automatically put into a category of sex object because we've been nothing but sex objects. And so a lot of this is rebellion against that, and kind of to an annoying extent, like my husband has mentioned, well, you're always naked. Why are you always naked? And he asked that from a place of curiosity, not accusations or any of the above. It was just a discussion we had. And I was like, because like, I don't want people to get tired in a way of seeing me naked, which is what I feel like a lot of married people do. Like there's even my husband, I gawk at him, but there's also, I know there's a time and a place we're being intimate and sexual, and when we're just human beings who live together, who have bodies. And I don't know why that skill set of differentiation isn't prevalent in society. Like a woman with big boobs, she wears a shirt. She's just fucking wearing a shirt. She just happens to have big boobs. And all of a sudden she's being a slut. Or like I have small boobs. I have like nothing. I tell people I'm in negative A. I don't wear a bra, not because I'm trying to be sexy and have my nipples everywhere, but because it's uncomfortable for me to wear a bra. So why can't we as a society just, I don't know, leave people alone and not sexualize everything? 'Cause it just like it's automatically put into sex categories. Sex is in everything. This lustful minds, and trust me, I'm a sexual person. I could argue super lustful. Like Lisa, I gawk at my husband all the time, but I feel like there is a balance and a way to not make people feel self-conscious and uncomfortable, and like that is their sole purpose in life. And I mean, I've dated some decent men. Not all of the men in my life that I've dated are bad. But when I say that my husband was the first man who never made me feel like I had to perform sexually and be a sex object. He was the first man who has ever verbalized to me, you don't have to. You can say no. We don't always have to do this. You don't like, he had to tell me you don't always have to be on. And I didn't realize how programmed I was to always be on. And I think like because of societal programming, to finish that thought. And you can see that in a lot of my artwork where I leaned into it. Also, in a way, I'm like rebelling against it with all of these different like symbolisms and layers. And I feel like this whole journey of my portfolio kind of shows that unfolding and just self-discovery and shift in how I'm like the freedom I have to create nude art in a way that I want to, not in a way that is to give the people what they want, which some of my older works, I argue, is to give people what they want, or to embody this, because then you get into spirituality and it's like, well, you're a goddess. And then you get into like, there's predatory situations in everything, and everything is to target women, especially sexually. Because that's to target someone in their most vulnerable area. Like, that's a social agreement that I don't know. I don't understand when it went away. So I argue all the time, like, rape and sexual assault, that is one thing that can't be justified. Murder can very easily be justified for a variety of self-defense situations. There is never a time or a place where sexual assault or rape is ever okay. And, men rape each other in prison for power, and it's this power move. And to me, it's the weakest thing that you can do. You're such a weak fucking human being that you have to attack somebody in everybody's most vulnerable area. And you have to attack them when they're a child, when they're innocent, or you attack them when they're subdued somehow. Like in prison, they have other men. It's so fucking crazy. They have other men hold the man down so the other guy can rape them or whatever, or it's all these other like weird levels of consent. Men manipulating and lying women in so many different social structures to gain access to sex. And I get it. Sex is powerful. Sex is something that we all need to be alive. If no one had sex, how would we continue to reproduce? But that's the whole point. There is this social agreement that our root chakra, our root, is the most sacred foundational aspect of us. And so for someone to target that, think fucking pathetically, you think that you're being, oh, I'm so powerful. No, you took something out from its root. You couldn't get it in any other way, shape, or form. So you had to target the most vulnerable area that everyone has. That is such a sacred, what the fuck am I trying to say? That just isn't just a sacred area, but you're breaking a sacred law. Like that, I guess, like that is something within society that I find to be one of the like ultimate sins is corrupting and contaminating the sexual essence and liberation of human beings, male, female, and any of the above. You corrupt them when they're children, and you put them into this perspective and this traumatic, wounded mindset for this illusion of power that is not real. And it really upsets me. Like I said, I think like anyone who's ever lied, okay, I'm gonna say this with my whole chest. Anyone who's ever lied to get anyone to fuck them, you're pathetic. And you're a rapist liar. Like that is one of the ultimate sins. Like to deconstruct all of that. Every man who's ever lied to me just to get what they want, you're a rapist. Women are the same who've done that are the same. Anyone who's ever done that, you are a weak, powerless human being. Sex should be free and consensual and just and its purest form of transparency and authenticity. And I think like that's the sign of a true like authentic person is that they don't have to pretend or do anything to to receive sex and sexual fulfillment in their life. And I think it's such a gross predatory mindset that I could go on and on about, which we're all ultimately in this modern society, even purists, virgin purists in this purity culture, all the way, the whole spectrum of people in our modern society are victims and perpetrators of this situation. And we need to have a deeply formal, sacred, spiritual, social agreement that nobody, no matter what, is going to attack anyone of any age for any reason, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and all of the above in their most vulnerable chakra, their root chakra, their reproductive organs. It's just maddening to me. And that's what I see that it's weaponized all over society. And then that's why you can't just live. Do you think a tree is worried about when they have leaves or not? Choose to like express themselves, or even animals. Like look at my animals in their birthday suits. Like clothing, while it is protective of weather, it's self-expression. And not every ounce of self-expression is meant to be sexual, even in nudity, even in something that could be perceived as slutty. So that is my TED Talk. That is my rant. And I know it's a complex topic, but I firmly believe that the ultimate sin is any form of sexual assault. In conclusion, regardless of who you are, nobody should be assaulted in the most vulnerable part of their body. With that, do I need to take a break? I might need to take a break. So we have that. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna take a break, and I will continue on with the rest of my projects at another time. So, thank you for hearing the tale behind the art that is my What Nightmares Are Made Out of, my Nightmare on Elm Street nude cosplay, and listening to my rant and TED Talk about sexual assault and sexual liberation and lust. Cheers!